Alright, what is going on, guys? UFC Fight Night Royval versus Taira ended yesterday. I'm going to be 100% honest. So this is me, my post-fight reaction and breakdown, or thoughts on some of these fights. I'm not going over every fight. I'm going to say that right now. I didn't watch this card live. I didn't spoil anything. I went back and rewatched the fights that I actually gave a shit about, or the fights that ended in a finish. I did not watch all the fights, so we're going to be skipping over some of these. I did watch this fight. So, first fight of the night, Clayton Carpenter versus Lucas Rocha, however the hell you say his name. I want to say it almost like, wasn't a complete shutout, but Clayton Carpenter did very good. Got the second round rear naked choke. My biggest takeaway from this fight is Lucas looks very undersized for the flyweight division, and that's as low as you can go in the UFC as far as weight-wise. They don't have, it's not like one championship. I believe they have like a men's strawweight division, which is 115 pounds. It might be different for them. I think it might be 125 pounds for them. But, yeah, he looks very undersized. And once Carpenter could implement the grappling, there's really not much Lucas could do. So, other than that, good win from Clayton Carpenter. Moving up the card. Did not watch this fight at all. These two fights, I didn't watch. This fight. So, I initially had picked Junior Tafa to beat Chris Barnett. After watching this fight, Chris Barnett would have won. I'm very confident Chris Barnett would have won. He would have beat Junior Tafa. The Tafa brothers are fucking garbage. Okay, this Sean Sharif guy comes in on like, was it a week, 5 days notice? And if he would have had a gas tank, let's say cardio wasn't an issue for either one of these guys, Sean Sharif wins that fight 9 times out of 10. Essentially what you had in the first round, they were going back and forth, swinging hard. Sean was trying to implement the grappling. At one point, he was going to get a takedown. Junior Tafa outrageously grabs the fence to keep himself up. I thought he did it back-to-back, too. I thought he did it, and then the second time that I thought he did it, you couldn't really tell on camera very well. I probably should go back and rewatch that part, but I'm pretty sure he did it right back-to-back fence grabs to stop from getting taken down. And then who was the ref? I can't remember the guy's name. Anyway, he stopped the fight momentarily and told him, like, do not grab the fence anymore. He didn't tell him, if you grab the fence again, I'm going to take a point, which is what he should have done, because if he wouldn't have grabbed the fence, he would have got taken down. Now, I understand, like, maybe you get one freebie, one cheat freebie. You get a hard warning after you do that cheat, the foul, and then you do it again, you get a point taken. But anyway, it was kind of an even-ish round. They're both landed both heavy shots. But then towards the end of the round, Sean got a takedown and was just laying brutal ground and pound on Tafa. Multiple points throughout the fight. I thought they were going to stop the fight. I did. They didn't, though. And that was to Sean's demise. Because going in the second round, they both looked like completely exhausted. Like they both had nothing left to offer. I think Tafa, he clearly had a little bit more than Sean Sharif did. Sean, they were both just standing there essentially, hands at their waist. They couldn't do anything. They were throwing weak-ass punches. But Tafa ends up having just a little bit more energy in his gas tank and able to finish Sean Sharif. It was a terrible fight. The one takeaway I have from this is maybe, I'll give Sean a pass. He took this on very short notice. Maybe with a full camp, he could get his cardio better. The Tafa brothers are just garbage. They're not good. Like, once it goes past the first round, they're not good. They have no defensive grappling. They're not going to go anywhere in the division. The heavyweight division is very lackluster, but they're not going to go anywhere. Moving up the card, Themba Gorimbo, Nico Price. I did watch this fight because, Themba Gorimbo's got that huge backstory with The Rock. Rock got him a house. Themba Gorimbo is older than I thought. He's like 33 or 34 years old. So it's like an now or never for Themba Gorimbo. He needed to get the win over Nico Price. He got the win over Nico Price. Essentially a shutout. More like he pretty much just out-grappled him. Essentially all 3 rounds. Beginning of the first round a little bit, he looked like he wanted to strike with him. But then ultimately ended up grappling him for the rest of the fight. And, I mean, that's kind of what I figured would happen. He's got pretty decent grappling. Price is He's old. It just, I don't think, like, I think Themagrimbo, I don't think he'll ever challenge for a belt. I think he could get in the top 15. What I think is going to end up happening is he's going to be the new Neil Magny. He's going to be the new Neil Magny. Shout out Neil Magny taking that fight with Carlos Pratas. Main event UFC 100. UFC Vegas 100. Let me rephrase that. Feel bad for Neil Magny. 2 back-to-back killers. Michael Morales, Carlos Pratas. Feel bad for him. Anyway, I think Themagrimbo is going to be the new Neil Magny. I think once Neil Magny's out of the top 15, I think Themagrimbo will be able to work his way into the top 15 and kind of just be the gatekeeper for the top 15. Maybe the top 10. Moving up the card, Jonathan Pierce, Pat Sabatini. This did not go the way I thought it was going to go. Now, in my mind, I always knew that Pat Sabatini had the strength advantage and probably the BJJ advantage. The wrestling advantage I gave to Jonathan Pierce. He got that deep rear naked choke in the first round, though. Like, once Pat Sabatini can get your back, it's hard to get him off. And that's kind of how this ended up going. You know, he got standing rear naked choke. And when I was watching the fight, that rear naked choke was deep. As soon as I saw it latched up like that, I'm like, oh, there's no way in hell he's getting that out. And you could tell Jonathan Pierce did not want to tap. Like, he looked fucking pissed when this was going on. But, again, I guess, you know, what can I say? Another wrong pick. I don't think I did too bad on this card. Next fight. CJ Vergara versus Ramazan Timirov. Yeah, I think I'm saying that right. What did I tell you guys? CJ Vergara is absolute garbage, okay? He's trash. He's no good. He runs. He doesn't fight. He did some of that in this fight. Ramazan looking built for a flyweight. Pretty much a one-sided beatdown from Ramazan. What else can I say? CJ Vergara is not good at all. Moving up, main card. I unfortunately watched this fight. Wasn't that good of a fight. You would think, by the way they fight, or at least in my opinion, Dino Rodriguez is old. He's 37. I believe Alex Morono was 33 or 34. Alex Morono does not look good. I mean, Rodriguez does not look the greatest either, but it looks like almost like their ages should be flipped. He just doesn't look like I don't know if he's taking too much damage or what, but it was a close fight. A lot of split decisions on this card. I noticed that as well. Seems like the past few UFC cards we've had a lot of split decisions, a lot of wacky judging. But yeah, this is an alright. It wasn't a barn burner by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought Daniel Rodriguez clearly won. Yeah. Neither of these guys are going to be anything for the future of the welterweight division. They're kind of just cannon fodder, card filler. Moving up, Grant Dawson versus Rafa Garcia. Grant Dawson gets the win via TKO in the second round. Again, another one of those fights where it was essentially, once Grant Dawson gets your back, you can't get him off. And what has he got? He's bounced back 2 wins since his loss to Bobby Green. I'm starting to think the Bobby Green win was probably a fluke. Like, I think if they rematched, I would see Grant Dawson winning that fight. And if I'm Grant Dawson, I may even ask for that fight again. Like, I want that one back. Like, he sparked me out cold. It was most likely a fluke. Imagine he did it again. Imagine they fought and Bobby Green knocked him out cold again. That'd be hilarious. King Green, I'm sorry. It's King Green now. But yeah, I think Dawson will be able to get back in the top 15 lightweight division. My guess is I would throw him in there now. Like, look at the top 15, give him someone towards the bottom. I would throw him in there now. My guess, they're going to give him one more fight. If he wins that fight, then he will get shot for someone in the top 15. Go win by Grant Dawson. Moving up to, I didn't watch this fight. Shit. Brad Tavares versus Jun Park. Another split decision. So, at first round, I had Brad Tavares. He drops Jun Park Like within, that's in the first 10 seconds, 15 seconds, drops him. I thought he was going to finish him right there. I was like, oh shit, let's go Brad Tavares. I wanted him to win. And then going into the scorecards, when they were getting ready to read the scorecards, and they said it was going to be a split decision, I'm like, oh, come on, maybe. So pretty much what happened, round 1, you give to Brad Tavares, just landed the better shots, dropped Junior Park. Round 2, I believe they gave, one of the judges gave Brad Tavares round. You can't give him round 3. He got completely out-grappled round 3. As soon as I saw him get taken down, I'm like, I don't think he's going to be able to get back up. His takedown effects was pretty good in this fight. He only got taken down twice out of 6 attempts from Junior Park. But second round, Junior Park did jab. I think the jab is what won him that second round. I think Brad Tavares landed the better, the more significant strikes in round 2. But Park just kept throwing that jab, and it was peppering Brad Tavares a lot. Kept chewing up the leg of Brad Tavares as well. And I think that's what won him the second round. And then again, the third round, he just out-grappled him. I think got his back. Held it the whole round. So, would I've liked Brad Tavares to win? Yes. I think if he would have won, borderline robbery. Not, I wanted him to win. Again, I wanted him to win. But I think Park probably should have taken round 2. Because when they were going to read the scorecards, I thought, yeah, it's going to be Park rounds 2 and 3, 29-28. Anyway, moving up. Main event. Great fight. Brandon Raw Dog Royval versus Tatsuro Taira. I picked Brandon Royval to win this fight. I knew he was scrappy. Now, one thing I was worried about, and the worry ended up being true, if Taira gets your back, he's not getting off. Every time he was able to get Royval's back, there might have been 1 time or 2 times that Royval was able to get back up, but for the majority of the time, once Tatsuro Taira got the back of Brandon Royval had nothing off of, he could not get up. He could not get him off. For some reason, I'm thinking there was a couple moments where they would be standing and then Brandon Royval could get him off. But once they got down on the ground, he couldn't get him off his back. Great fight, amazing fight. Essentially what it boiled down to is Royval had the better cardio. I think he had not very much, but a slight power advantage. And he's just very scrappy and squirrely on the ground. He's good at scrambles. And although he wasn't really, outside of a rear naked choke or kind of a neck crank, it was a submission attempt, he was flowing through submissions though. That's one thing I will give him props for. He's good at flowing through different submissions, going for one. I remember at one point, I think it was towards the end of a round, he went for an armbar and a triangle and a few different things. But again, there was, I think, maybe less than 30 seconds left. But yeah, the boxing was on point from Royval. Just relentless pressure going forward versus Tatsuro Taira. Landing good strikes. I can't remember if it was the second. No, it wasn't the second round. Tatsuro Taira won the second round. Might have been the first round or the third round. Royval was landing some good shots. I'm pretty sure it was the first and third round. Royval was landing some really good shots, really stinging Taira. Landed some good front kicks as well. Or I guess they weren't front kicks. But landed some good kicks as well. Was trying to not throw too many body kicks, even though they had the correct stances for them to throw body kicks at each other easily. A couple times Taira tried to get the takedown off the body kick. So good to him, Royval, for making that adjustment, not throwing it too much. By no stretch of the imagination, I don't think Tatsuro Taira got fraud checked or anything like that. He put up a very good fight. I don't think it should have been a split decision. No way in my mind should this have been a split decision. I think it was a clear rounds 1, 3, and 5 for Brandon Royval. I believe this is the first time Tatsuro Taira went 5 rounds as well. I think, like Royval said in his post-fight, I think Taira definitely will fight for a belt one day. Will he be champion, though? I don't know. I don't. But I definitely think he'll be... It's possible. It is possible for him to be a champion. But I think he'll definitely be top 5 for the rest of his UFC career. For sure. Because he's young. I think he's younger than me. I'm 26. I think he's 25 years old or 24 years old. I don't think it says on here. And they got fight of the night. Let's see if it says on here his age. Because he's still got time to improve. You know, Brandon Royval, yeah, it's not going to show his age on here. Brandon Royval is like 33 or 32. So he's like getting ready towards the tail end of his career. But he calls for a title shot, or if someone drops out of the Brandon Moreno and Amir Abazi fight, he'll be a backup for that fight. Honestly, I think, I don't know if I would want him to be the backup for that. Well, yeah, he needs to be the backup for the flyweight title fight that's going on in December, which I'm going to be making a video about that right after this one. Anyway, I think Brandon Royval clearly won the fight. Good performance from Brandon Royval. Showed he had gritty heart, determination, move forward, throw combinations, win the fight. Loved the fight. It was a great main event. That's all I got for this video, guys. If you guys are not subscribed, make sure and subscribe. Drop a like on this video. Comment what you thought of the main event in the comment section down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one.